Lads, how do we feel apart from results, all the rest of it, right? This is the time where rubber hits the road. What's it like when you are either in head office or sitting around a cabinet table a couple of days out, regardless of all the information? What's it like just before an election, Michael?
Mate, it's chaos, to be honest. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone can tell you why that one was wrong and you should have done this and we should have been doing that, and donors haven't sent their money in, candidates complaining, people are sick. On the other hand, if you're winning, it's very different. It's like, oh, mate, aren't we magnificent? Those ads were great, candidates magnificent, best candidates we've ever had, policies fantastic, state directors wonderful, the leaders are genius. So the answer is to your question, it depends whether you're winning or not, mate. And it's a very different response.
Yeah. Now, Stephen, of course, apart from anything else, being a candidate yourself, but being in the Senate, it means you have responsibility for people downstairs. Is this the time when the person who's basically running in order to do how to vote forms in Liberal Party seats that have never turned in about 400 years think, I'm still a chance, I'm a chance, somebody at the pub said they're voting for me for the first time?
No, candidate-itis sets in very quickly, and I can't tell you the amount of times I've had the candidate in, Higgins, which was traditionally an incredibly safe seat, Peter Costello's a member, they'd phone up and say, look, it's on, the swing is on. I've been knocking on the doors. You can feel it from the conversations, and you just go, yeah, no, we will get more resources to you, and you put the phone down and you just forget about it. That is an absolute norm in all parties, not just Labor, Liberal, in all parties. Because to run, you've got to have a genuine sense of self-belief. Otherwise, you couldn't put yourself out there. And so that sense of self-belief really takes over during a campaign. And, good on people for doing it. And, I was lucky enough to stand a few times. But it really, there are some very funny phone calls.
Yeah. Now, look, in terms of, predictions and all of that game, right, when we're going to deal in data and all of that, but we'll get to it in a second, right? But let's deal with Medi-Scare versus Super Scare, all right? Both are very effective. One is very late in the game. One was very front-loaded and helped change the conversation in those early months. Which one is going to be most potent going into this absolute final run? And now that we know that the majority of people will be voting on election day, Super Scare hasn't been running for weeks and weeks and weeks, but geez, it's running hard in the next couple of days, Michael.
Mate, it is running hard, but those with super balances over 3 million are not that many. Those with a Medicare card are quite plentiful. So Medicare is a much more effective weapon. I'd say this about this election. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. My first election was 1969 when I handed out for John Gorton as a 12-year-old. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the dishonesty, the lies that Albanese and Chalmers have told, the appalling mistakes they've made on budget figures. They make things up, they repeat them, they keep repeating them. Phil Coorey and others, write and say this is wrong. They just keep repeating them. The 600 billion, it's a blatant lie. So I don't think Labor can be proud. If they win, it's a dirty victory. It's a very dirty victory. And when that happens, you will get clobbered at the next election. So one of the reasons Short lost in 19 wasn't just because of the tax rises he proposed, but because, mate, people felt badly that they'd been conned by him in 16.
Good point.
So Albanese, if he wins on Saturday, he's going to have a legacy of people saying, mate, you conned us, right? You conned us on Medicare. It was never going to be abolished, cut, slashed, burned. Nuclear was never going to cost 600. You just go through the whole list of these things. So Medicare is very effective, but, if you win an election by preying on the elderly, the infirmed and the sick, by basically scaring the living daylights out of them, that their healthcare is going to be affected by Peter Dutton, you shouldn't feel proud of yourself, mate. You really shouldn't. That's a race to the political bottom, and he should be ashamed, Albanese.